What's up, Boxing Bear community? Today we have a special guest with us. Matter of fact, let me do that right. We have a very special guest with us tonight, and this special guest is no other than the illustrator of Animal Warriors and the upcoming Killerman as well. Now, before I actually fully introduce him, let me give you a little backstory about who he is and what he is doing. So, I met him through this workshop app where we can, get to chatting with different people, people looking for hire, people who's looking to hire, and I came across this young, talented, young, great man named Brandon Sample. And so far, me and him has made a really good connection through the book of Animal Warriors. And I also got to read some of his other work, which is Blackuu. That is one of his most popular books out. You can see that on Webtoons, by the way. And if you look on the screen, you can see his Instagram and stuff's up. So I ain't going to explain too much. But Mr. Brandon, it's nice to have you on the channel. And please come in and talk a little bit.
Nice to be here, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I go by the artist name ImLordBeezus. I'm Brandon. I have been doing traditional art since a very long time, but recently, for the past couple of years, I decided to take my talents and actually take advantage of what God gave me and use my skills for the greater good. I have been doing digital art for going on 3 years, and I have made several comics from Blackuu to Killer Man to Animal Warriors to a project that I'm doing with another client called Golden Warriors, which is coming out soon. And I'm just happy to be here and do this interview with you guys.
And we're honestly happy to have you too, sir. So look, today is going to be a nice little simple day. We're going to ask a couple of questions. We're going to have a lot of fun. So with that being said, I really want to jump into the first question, which is this. So during your lifetime and during your trials and tribulations, I don't know what you went through altogether, but what made you start your illustration journey, and what gives you the most motivation to keep going?
Well, just like any great creator before me, it's just part of my DNA. As a kid, I always was interested in creating a show. I actually wanted to be like the person that continued Dragon Ball Z for a very long time because that's what I looked up to. Just like a lot of people from America that's into anime, and like all my life, I never really took it seriously. But when I got older, I noticed that a lot of people were living the lifestyle that I wanted to live. So one day I just decided to just start making anything. And my first project was Blackuu. It was my passion project. It still is going to be my passion project for a long time. And for like a couple years, I decided to go on Webtoons after I entered this competition in, I think, 2023. I entered my pilot for Blackuu. And after that, I decided to just continue the story. And after continuing the story for some time, I was like, this is nice on Webtoons, but why don't I just go find someone that needs my talent? And that's when I met Josiah through a site, and we made Animal Warriors. And for a very long time, I always just wanted to be an animator. I always wanted to be someone that creates content for people so they can enjoy and take a break from reality.
Yeah, that taking a break from reality is really my whole entire motion. I'm so big on imagination and letting it lead to reality because so many people are just looking at reality as a thing you got to do instead of actually investing in your own time into it, and not someone else's time. But since you spoke on Dragon Ball Z, because that really is one of my favorite shows of all time, and I know I create my own stuff, but I wholeheartedly love Dragon Ball Z. Like I would even pretend I was Vegeta back in preschool fights. And people were like, no, like for real, I would really hit people with Gallic guns and Kamehamehas and stuff. So like, who would you say your favorite character on that show is?
When I was a kid, my favorite character was probably, let me really think back. Probably Trunks when I was a kid. But like now being older, my favorite character is Gohan. Just for a reason I relate with him. Like growing up, like being a dad and seeing like how he handles his responsibilities and everything. He just such a relatable character. He just turned into my favorite when I got older.
It's crazy.
Trunks was my favorite as a kid just because like how cool he was, and then when he came out of nowhere to kill Frieza, he always just was my favorite for a long time.
Bro definitely came in with the most aura on this show other than Vegeta, man. I love Trunks on it. So what would you say the hardest book you have ever worked on was?
Hardest book. Hmm. Probably recently Killer Man, to be honest, because I'm used to doing like fantasy and fictions in my work. But for Killer Man, I had to really stop and slow down and take care of like how the characters like interact between each panel. Like those little interactions
Right.
were a big thing that I was focusing on. Just not just being able to have to draw from actual references in real life and taking my time with the skills and the techniques I was using. Like Killer Man definitely was a very hard book for me to draw. Like compared to everything else, because it's an expectation thing too. I can't just do whatever I want in those type
Hey,
books. I have to really take it take into consideration that Killer Man can actually happen in real life. So I had to really take my time with each day, drawing it, days and nights, just to get it done.
so y'all heard what he's saying. Since it's one of his hardest book that he had to take his time on, that means it's really detailed. So that means go read it. Now I'm not trying to force you or nothing, but like if the illustrator himself is telling y'all that he really took his time and put all his effort into it, hey, I'm let the hey.
Y'all need to read it because I definitely want to continue the story of Killer Man. Like the way I drew Killer Man, I showed this to someone before and they were like, "Hey, it's a killer." I'm like, if they only knew what the title was, it's like you just got to see it, man. It's a cool style. Like the main character, he looks so dope. Y'all gonna mess with it. Y'all gonna like it. Trust
It
me.
really you really put your foot in that character, and the fact that you did all of this based off words, like I want them to really know when I give you characters, I give you words, like, and you really come up with the creations yourself. So that is very much a talented aspect in it in its own self. Like that's hard for like that's you're taking words and turning them into reality. That's hard. Give yourself kudos for that. That's some.
I mean, that's why I gave myself the artist name LordBeezus because I wanted to be someone that can just create like a pocket dimension for you guys when you open a book. Just a whole new world that you wouldn't even think of. With each book that I give you, I wanted to give it each book that I make a different style and a different feel. That's my whole like focus when I make comic books for everyone. Because if I make Blackuu is gonna look the same as Killer Man. Killer Man is gonna look the same as Animal Warrior. Know what I mean? And not a lot of artists can do that. A lot of people stick to one style, and I wanted to be different. I want each of my books to feel like a different place, a different universe for everyone.
I'm really glad you actually mentioned that because I was going to kind of switch over to that anyways. Speaking on Blackuu, because that's really how I got to see where your skills really come from. Your texture and your design and your character development, the whole story alone in Blackuu is flawless, like truly flawless. I love the graphics, I love the characters, and I love the action scenes. But most importantly, I think I love the scenery the most. Like you really put your time and effort into the background details, which most artists kind of forget, but that's what makes you a great artist. So, with that being said, where do you see the future of Blackuu going?
Honestly, Blackuu was always a passion project. I was just so dead set for him to become popular one day. And I'm grateful that I took my time to draw this because a lot of people don't know Blackuu is my entire digital portfolio. Like when you see Blackuu, you're seeing me learn digital art. That's the craziest thing. But for Blackuu, I hopefully wanted to gain like an audience because it deserves an audience. I just started the story, and the action scenes are getting more crazy as we go. The story takes place Rapture. I don't know if you're a Christian or not, but this is the ends of time. And the ends of time, it's been 1,000 years since the end of times, and there's a whole race of half demon and half people they call astronauts. And in this story, we take the story is following Blackuu, the main character, and it's basically you're watching him day to day, watching how crazy his life is, because his race they are hated by both Satan and they are hated by both God, and they must live in this crazy world and do what they have to do to survive.
Mm.
And I want to continue the story. That's my main goal. But if I don't gain the audience and everything, I also want to show like people that support my talents and support my story telling. I wanted to show them that I'm more than just fantasy. I'm more than just Blackuu. So I'm joining the Webtoon competition for 2025, and these last 3 chapters that I'm going to showcase will be the decision if I continue or not. So that's basically my plan so far. Because I have been drawing Blackuu for a couple years, and I want to take a break and explore with my writing, explore, maybe do some one shots. So that's my plan for this year. I'm gonna join the Webtoon 2025 competition. I'm coming out with 3 more chapters. They're gonna be epic. Trust me. There's gonna be a lot of turns. There's gonna be a lot of what if scenarios. There's gonna be a lot of questions answered in quick and just come and support me on Webtoons. I'm gonna be dropping each chapter in April and another chapter in May. So support your boy.
So yeah, y'all already said so April and then May. So we got 2 chapters coming back to back almost. And once again, it's in Webtoons, and the comic is called Blackuu. You can see the screen, so you know the name. So once again, go support young Black businessmen doing his thing in life. And me personally, I read the book. So my personal opinion is the book is great. You heard how I talked about it already. So if you want the same experience I got, Webtoons, Blackuu, go lock in with it and make sure he wins this competition. Because I already know you are going to win this competition. You just got the skills for it. You got the talent. This is all you. So question for you.
Pay the bills.
I saw on my page, on Boxing Bears page, that when I posted a little anything for my brother, anything for that little video, I saw that he was like, Animal Warriors 2 coming out. When is it? And I was like, oh, well, you mean the little eye emoji. So that brought me to a question. Out of all the books you worked on, because you really only worked on 2, what was your favorite book, Animal Warriors or Killer Man?
Animal Warriors is my baby, because with Animal Warriors, I really got the joy for like the half animal, half human thing. I never really drew that before, so it was just interesting, like to challenge myself with like a whole new feel. Because I'm used to drawing like more grittier books, and like it's some gritty parts in Animal Warriors, but most of it is really lighthearted. And it was just so interesting to see what the color schemes I was going to come up with, the designs I was coming up with, and just bouncing off of ideas with you. And I really do want to continue Animal Warriors, because I actually started to fall in love with those characters as I was drawing each page. So it's like I'm just waiting for the next page, like the next book. Like, just let me know. You already know I'm on standby. Whenever you're ready, let's get the next book out.
Yeah, I guarantee you're gonna like the next one more than you like the first one, because the next one is personally, let me not lie. Yeah, I'll say this. It is one of my favorite books that Amor is going to have.
To be honest, only you know what happens next. I don't write anything. I just draw. So it's like, hey, drop the script already, man.
Right. He said, well, you know what happens next. You gatekeeping. Yeah.
I don't know what happens next. I'm just a painter.
Same thing about Blackuu, though. For real, only you know what happens next. So that's
I know everything. I know the ending of Blackuu already. I just gotta get it popular.
Right. It's coming. These things take time. Even with Animal Warriors and Killer Man, these things are going to take time. Greatness starts slow, sadly. So look. Inspiration wise, who would you say is your biggest inspiration? Now, either past or current. So like dead or alive. Like, who would you say had the biggest inspiration on you?
Now, I have multiple people. That's not really fair. That's not really fair, because it's multiple people. I could do, all right. I'm gonna get my first person.
Bro.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Aaron McGruder, the creator of Boondocks. He's my hero. He's my absolute hero.
Man. Man,
He's my hero.
the whole world waiting for the next. Oh, ooh.
I used to read Boondocks before he was even a show.
Oh,
As
for
that
real?
hero.
Oh,
Yeah, I would get on my mom like every week, every Sunday. I would just look at her and be like, "Hey, you got the newspaper?" And I would open that newspaper just to go to the Boondocks comic and read it every single week when I was a kid. Like I learned to draw from mimicking Aaron McGruder, and then when he had a show when I was a kid, I was always drawing Huey and Riley like in elementary
mm-hmm.
school. I would have like classmates come to me like, hey, can you draw me Huey? Can you draw me Riley? Can you draw me Granddad?
Yeah.
Can you draw me Steak Man? Aaron
Stay.
McGruder is like my everything. I love the Boondocks.
I didn't even know they had books before the show. Like, you just really just put me on. I really, because when they first came out with the show, at that time, I wasn't even allowed to watch Boondocks.
Yeah.
So I had to wait a couple years before I started watching it. And once I did start watching it, oh, yeah, it was instant love. Instant love. That show is the most funny. I don't know. I would say it's the funniest show, but then you got shows like Rick and Morty. So I don't know. It's definitely up there, though.
Aaron
Definitely.
McGruder started off as a political cartoon artist, and he grinded his way into the national newspaper. And through the national newspaper, through the popularity of Boondocks, he was gifted an opportunity to have the show on Cartoon Network.
Oh, wow.
That's his career path that he got. Then he started with a simple. We're drawing whole books. He started off with a simple 4-strip comic book, or 4 strips a week, and all he had to do was make political jokes. And that's where he started with the Boondocks. But he was only in college when he started it too. He was younger than me. I think he was like 22, 21 when he started the Boondocks. So he came a really, really long way, and his past is very different from a lot of cartoon like comic artists. Like he's more close to like Garfield. Like he's really an OG.
So he came up in that type of era when the comics used to really pop. Yeah. See,
He
we're
was in the newspaper.
printed comics are like I don't want to say dying down, but they're not as big as they used to be. Comics used to be the thing, like almost like trading cards. Comics used to be hot.
It's still hot. It's just the media is different now.
Yeah, the media is different, right?
There's still people that buy physical copies, but I noticed that a lot of people they want to see free digital like comics nowadays.
Yep. The digital marketplace. Yep.
Digital market is taking over.
Who else would you say is the big inspiration? Because you said you had a lot.
Akira Toriyama, of course.
Oh yeah.
We don't have to go too deep into Dragon Ball Z. We should know why if you've seen Blackuu.
Yeah. By the way, for y'all who don't know, that is the creator of Dragon Ball Z. But just had to, yeah.
Todd McFarlane, the creator of Spawn.
Yep.
And Tite Kubo, the creator of Bleach, probably all my biggest inspirations.
What's your top 3 animes? I gotta ask you.
I'm not even gonna include Dragon Ball. That's cheating. Probably Death Note, Samurai Champloo, and my third probably Inuyasha or probably Inuyasha.
Who's winning, Samurai Jack or the Black Samurai?
Samurai Jack or Afro Samurai?
Mm-hmm.
That's hard because they're like almost equally scaled, low key.
Yeah.
Like Samurai Jack has that blade that doesn't break.
Question for
no matter what.
on it.
I gotta give it to Afro. Afro got that grit. Afro Samurai got that grit, but Samurai Jack he be like slicing robots in half and shit. But Afro Samurai just got that grit and that finesse. So he'll probably end up winning, but they would have a lot of respect for each other and take their time in that battle because Samurai Jack is not a pushover.
Most definitely take the time. That would be a beautiful. That would be like a if someone was to animate that battle, that would literally be a masterpiece, a visual masterpiece. So, look, question for you. Since we were talking about the past and stuff, because I got this, I got a little story about it, but I want to hear yours first. As a child, right? How were you different from the rest? If you was, now you probably was, but how were you different from the rest? And how hard was it finding a group that fits you?
As a kid, how different? I would say the only reason I was really different from the rest probably because um a lot of people like looked up to me when I was young because I can draw really well as a child, and probably because I was really quiet and like to myself. So sometimes people gravitated towards me because I was nice. But as a kid, I didn't really have any problems fitting in. I was kind of like, you know, kind of a normal kid. I was kind of, I guess you could say popular, but not popular. Like everyone kind of knew me because I was like artistic, but I also was kind of like athletic. So I was like the best of both worlds growing up. So I didn't really have a problem fitting in most of my life. Like everywhere I go, I usually made friends. I usually was really charismatic and nice to people and respectful. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I had problems growing up as a kid. I just know that I was always different, and people always told me I was different, but I really never really like took it seriously. Like I
Mm-hmm.
never really took like drawing seriously for a very long time. Like growing up, I took a lot of things for granted that I wish I didn't. And that's just life. Sometimes you just got life. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what to say, but
Just speaking about life, where do you see yourself in the next 10 to 20 years? And of course, I mean, with your craft and everything.
if I stay in the dojo, like that's what I like to call it, stay in the
Right.
lab in the dojo, I can see myself just like already have series lined up, and I can see me at a point where everything I was trying to grow is finally like sprouting and finally like budding and blossoming, and hopefully in 10 years I will have at least a couple or at least one series that hit something popular. That's what I would like because I've been working very hard and I love the game. Like I love making comics. It's what fuels me at this point.
Yeah,
Like I wake up in the morning and
I
I just
feel
have
that.
to draw. Like if I don't draw for a couple of days, I literally get depressed, bro. It's like it's my passion. So hopefully in 10 years I made my mark, and me and you probably already completed a couple of series and they so good, and we can keep moving with our partnership.
Oh yeah.
That's what I hope
Oh
in ten
yeah.
years.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got. Oh yeah. We got we got some stuff to do, brother. We got some stuff. I like that fact that you call it a dojo though. So now since I'm referencing it's a dojo, one, what belt would you say you're at? Two, would you be ever considering to take on students? And three, who would you feel like would be your hardest competitor? My
I
bad.
don't
I
know
was,
too much about karate belts, but isn't it like white, red, blue? I don't. I know brown, purple, and black. They're the like last ones, right?
yeah.
I got a lot to learn.
So you
I'm about to get my.
there yet, but you're
I'm about
not
to get my purple belt. I'm about to get my purple. If
purple.
if if brown is after, like if brown before purple, I would give myself a brown. I feel like my skills is up there, but it's so many like amazing artists out there.
Right.
So I wouldn't say I'm perfect. Yeah, every time I draw, I feel like I could have done more. For each piece I finish, I feel like I can do more. And for people, if you want to learn how to draw, I'm already looking for someone like a junior. I have a lot of projects that I want to complete. I have like people coming up to me and asking me like, "Hey, can you complete my comic book?" I have people messaging me asking me, "Can I complete their comic book? Can I do their web comic?" So I'm actually looking for a junior artist now. I just thought of that the other day. I was like, man, I'm at this point. I actually need help because I'm so used to doing everything on my own.
But it gets to a
But
point. It gets to a point.
yeah, you need a team. It
Mm-hmm.
gets to a point you need a team. Like everyone needs a team.
Yep.
Everybody needs a team. You can't do everything on your own. That's something that I have to come and accept. I always wanted I always wanted to just do everything on my own. But at the end of the day, time is everybody's like limit. You can't beat time.
Everyone always think they can grow on their own. One of the biggest sayings is, "I came into this world alone, and I'm gonna die alone." But the truth is, we didn't come into this world alone because we came into this world with our mothers. We can't born ourselves, right? So that's why I'm always like
Mm-hmm.
in this one area in my life, like because I used to be a very prideful person. I used to think I was the best at everything, and I was one of the people that thought I really could do everything my own until it came to a fact where okay, I got all these great ideas, but I can't draw for real. I could do a little something, something, but I can't draw. Now I'm gonna need help on this project. And then the editing part, I'm gonna need help on that. And then my final part, which I want to talk to you about too, is the animating part. Would you ever consider becoming an animator?
I would like to say when it comes to drawing, I'm the jack of all trades.
Okay.
I'm not new to animation to be honest. When I was younger, I used to animate like small cartoons and on my little Nintendo DS using Flip No Hatina. I don't know if anybody knows about that, but that's real back in the day.
Oh,
Back in the day, I used to use stick figures,
yo,
drawings, and all type of stuff. But I would say I'm a beginner in animation. I got a good eye for animation, and I would love to animate if I was given the opportunity and the time and the funds to just be like, hey, forget this day job. I'm an animator now. I would gladly do that. I
yo,
love looking at animation. I love seeing it move and figuring out the little shortcuts that they did, like taking
mhm.
it frame by frame. Like I would love to animate. Actually, like the way I choreograph fights in Blackuu is with the thought of animation in mind in the first place. So hell yeah, I would love to animate.
Hey, I hope so. Because if you become an animator, that saved me a lot of trouble from looking all over the place to find me one. For real, real. What would you? That's crazy. You mentioned the DSi, man. I haven't talked about that in a rip. Oh,
Folk status right there.
yeah, I had the DSi, the 3DS, and then I remember the little draw. I used to draw little stick figures and push. Yo, that used to be crazy. What would you say is the hardest challenge you had to face to become the person you are today?
Hardest challenge.
Hardest challenge.
Probably becoming a father, bro, to be honest with you. It's probably becoming a father. Like just being challenged by the world and you gotta fight the world and take care of a little one. Probably the hardest challenge I ever faced in my life.
Mm,
And
tell me.
having a child will really force you to grow up. And a lot of people don't know that I'm a father, but I am. It will force you to grow up. Trust me. I used to be someone that, like I said earlier, that didn't take much serious. But as soon as I had a daughter, I had to learn responsibilities. I had to learn that each choice that you make has consequences.
Yeah, yeah.
Like being a dad is the reason I grit my teeth and I make those drawings for everyone. Like without my daughter, I probably even had the energy to create in the first place. So I would say like becoming a dad is probably the hardest challenge I ever faced in my life.
That's deep, man. That's deep. So like, if that's also one of the biggest blessings too, man. Having a child is a beautiful experience in life. Most people are so scared of it, and I mean, it could be scary, but once you're in it, and once you overcome that fear, it's literally one of
I
the
was I was terrified. I was
yeah,
terrified when I learned
yeah,
that
yeah.
the girl was pregnant. I was very terrified for a very, very long time. But things have gotten better. There's nothing to be scared of. Everyone, most of us are gonna have to go through like raising the child eventually. Nothing
Mm-hmm.
to be scared of. It's actually a very beautiful thing. You get to see what you're made of when you have to take care of a little one.
Push to the limits. Push to your limits. If you had to do anything all over again, would you change anything, or would you keep it all the same?
I feel like if I change anything, I wouldn't be ImLordBeezus.
Yo, I knew you were gonna
That
say.
makes sense.
Yo, yo,
I feel like I wouldn't be me if I change anything. So what's the point?
respect. Respect.
It's it's a method to my madness. So why change it? That would be like it would be like changing Naruto's path. Like he wouldn't even be Naruto anymore. That'd be like changing Spider-Man's path. He wouldn't even be Spider-Man no more. That'd be like changing Batman's path. You know what I mean? So no, I wouldn't change anything. I feel like I'm exactly where I need to be in life. And I'm gonna just keep it pushing.
All right, so I want to do this little segment because now we got all the deep questions out the way. Now it's time for the even deeper questions. And the deeper questions are who would win? So now I'm going to have your character, Black.
Who would win?
I have Black
Oh man,
up against.
Blackuu.
Yeah, I'm going to have Blackuu up against multiple different characters. And I want you, now you could take your time on them or you could rapid answer them. But I need you to really analyze each skill, say what Black.
Blackuu, or
Or
is it Webtoon competition Blackuu? What I'm about to publish for you guys.
so, uh, and I
We
don't.
gonna keep it Webtoon
Yeah,
competition.
I'll about to say yeah. Keep it Webtoons, just for the people to be able to go.
Okay, we gonna keep it. We
Yeah,
gonna keep it current Blackuu.
yeah. Keep it current. Keep it current. So you ready?
Yeah, what we got here, man?
So we got Blackuu or Superman.
Um, Superman will crush Blackuu. It wouldn't even be fair. Like he would probably shrug off Blackуу's like Yurumis really easily. His soul erases really easily. Like Superman is like made of like the sun, and Blackuu at this point wouldn't really be able to damage him at all. It wouldn't even. It would be very one sided at this point.
Just, what about Thor?
Thor would admire Blackуу's like courage and his battle heart, but like current Blackuu now,
Mm-hmm.
he probably wouldn't last too long against Thor at this point, just because Blackuu is at least continental, and he's very durable, but Thor has so many feats that it really wouldn't be fair. Like that's the son of Odin.
What about Batman? No prep time though.
Oh, Batman would be terrified of Blackuu. He would absolutely shit himself.
He
Like
said Dark Knight will have nightmares of Blackuu. Oh my goodness.
Blackuu Blaze literally explode anything that touches him, and Batman is a regular human. He would literally like die to
Especially
Blackuu.
he really
Like he
can't.
would die.
Dang, poor Batsy. What about Spider Man?
That would be an interesting fight. They would like young Spider Man would die to Blackuu, to be honest. Like young Spider Man.
Mm-hmm.
But we talking about Spider Man that's like went through all the comic books and fought all the strongest mutants. It would be about even until Spider Man gets tired of Blackuu, basically. Like he would just look at Blackuu and be like, you're kind of a piece of shit, and he probably would like web him up really good. And Spider Man, I can see Spider Man just pissing Blackuu off with his spider senses because his spider senses will be like extra heightened just because Blackуу's roomies, if he gets touched by that shit, he's gonna explode in a billion pieces. So I can see they were. I can lean into towards Spider Man, to be honest. And it's because Blackuu doesn't really have any counters for the spider senses yet. So I would lean it towards Spider Man.
What about Iron Man though?
Depends if it's base Iron Man, I feel like
Let's say Mach
he
6.
probably would die.
Mach 6 Iron Man.
Um, what Iron Man is that?
That's
Iron Man is one.
that's let's just say that's the main Iron Man. That's the regular one.
I mean, I can see Iron Man having to use a different suit at least. Black was pretty durable. Like he gets slammed through a wormhole and just gets up and laugh at it. So I can see.
Well, if he's getting
Mm,
I don't think Iron Man's beating him then. Yeah, no, I don't.
I see Iron Man had to use multiple suits to even stop him, to be honest. And Iron Man isn't that really great of a fighter. He got plasma beams, but if Blackuu gets a good hit and that armor gets fucked, then he's fucked.
That's some durability. You just said he got slammed. Let's really analyze that. You said he got slammed through a wormhole and laughed at it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Spider-Man might be able to touch that for like, I don't know.
I
Slam
mean,
and
Spider Man got them spider senses though. He don't underestimate Spider Man. They will be, I would say they would be dead even, but Spider Man has more feet than
right,
Blackuu right now.
right.
But hopefully after the next two chapters I upload,
It's gonna be a little
maybe
different.
these
Yeah.
maybe the readers would be like, I don't know, Blackuu looking pretty crazy out there. You're not giving him credit.
What about let's switch it up from comics to anime. What about Naruto?
Blackuu would love to fight Naruto with them shadow clones. That would make him so happy to just keep blowing them up over and over.
And we're not talking about Hokage Naruto. We're talking about Naruto Shippuden. Who you think will win?
Naruto with the nine tails.
Yeah, with the nine tails chakra and everything.
Mm,
That's a good one right there.
and with the next chapters I have planned up, it all depends who's more durable. Because Blackuu, he has the raw strength. He just can't go against anyone like Thor, Superman. So I feel like if he got the one up on Naruto, he wouldn't let up. He would probably torture Naruto until he blow him up to a billion pieces. But Naruto also has a chance because I have shown that Blackuu isn't the type of fighter to plan it out. He's all just chaos. He just wants to cause as much chaos as possible. That's his whole thing.
All right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so let's say this. Let's say this. Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up one more time. And I ain't trying to doubt Blackuu, but if you're saying he wouldn't beat Superman, how long do you think, since he's a chaotic fighter, right? How long do you think he will last in a fight with Hulk? Now that's two chaotic fighters. Yeah, now you know how Hulk get, and he just keep getting. So how you think? How long you think he will really last? With
I I think they would destroy like a couple cities, and then Blackwood would just get too happy, like exploding everything, and then it would get to it would the fight would keep going, and then it would get to a point where the Hulk would get so angry he would just rip Blackwood too, and get tired of him, how annoying he is. He'd just be like, "Puny kid keeps exploding everything. I'm getting tired of him," and he would just rip him apart.
we'll have Broly, Hulk, and Blackuu all in one room one day. We're gonna make that. We're gonna make that reality. That's gonna be a hard anime.
Well, let me get the peak Blackwood, man. He's still like in the
Yeah,
beginning of the story.
Blackuu really like
Not ready yet.
he developed and stuff, and he's you mean established and everything. We're gonna have to have him, Broly, and Hulk all in one room together. They ain't gonna last in that room, but all in one room. That's gonna be a little funny little animation we got going on. All right, and the last person I want to go against Blackuu was Wonder Woman. How you think he would do against her?
He's like a heavy hitter as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like her feats is just what she can do to like even Superman is actually scary.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can see like
yeah.
as soon as you see that Blackwood heart isn't like pure and that he's like out of his mind, I think she would take her braces off in a heartbeat and really just like punch on him. She would have no choice. She'll be like, okay, we're fighting, but this guy's blowing up everything around us. Yeah, he needs to go immediately. The same. That's how I think it would go.
No, they don't do her enough justice in the movies and the TV shows to show how strong she really is. I feel like they be underplaying her a lot. Like
I
very
I just remember seeing her in the Justice League cartoons, and everyone's like, "Oh, Superman got knocked out," and she just takes her braces off and just start beating up everybody.
man, the Justice League was probably one of the first superhero shows I have ever watched. And I think after that, it was probably Avengers, then Young Justice. But the Justice League was definitely the first cartoon superhero show I ever watched.
Man, you ever watch Teen Titans?
Which one? I hope you ain't talking about Teen Titans
The
Go.
old
You're talking about the original.
OG, of course.
Man,
OG, of course.
man,
Hey,
besides,
what's wrong with Teen Titans Go, man?
I played the PS2 games of that. Yes. Yeah. So like I really grew up on comics and anime. Like that was my whole identity for a little. Like I said, back in preschool, I would literally fight people pretending I was Goku. So yeah, I really grew up on it. So everything that anyone has ever watched before dealing with comics,
Hey,
I watched it.
hey, speaking of acting like you're like a character, you ever act like you were a Ninja Turtle as a kid? That probably was my favorite thing to do. Like find a long stick, act like I'm Leonardo or Donatello.
I got a picture.
Like I used to do that as a kid.
I got a picture with me and my family, my cousins and my brother. My mom had us in this group called the Ninja Turtle Club. We dressed up as Ninja Turtles. We had our weapons and we had the mask. And she was, I think she was either Master Splinter or she was the Shredder. So yes, I have definitely pretended I was Ninja Turtle. I was Michelangelo was my favorite one. I used to do some wild stuff with some weird nunchucks. I used to make little paper things and spin them. Yeah, so I definitely used to do that. Definitely.
I think my favorite one was Raphael.
Mm.
You can kind of see that because of the way I like
Yeah.
make Blackuu like angry. Like Raphael's my favorite. Just
Yep.
the way,
Yep.
the way he's angry just made me laugh. He's like, "Yo, I'm gonna give him a knuckle sandwich." He just looked at me wrong, and everyone else like, "Yo, Raphael, chill out." He
It's,
always was the first one to throw a punch.
did
He definitely was my favorite.
you ever watch the movie where he was Night Watcher against Leonardo?
Is that the animated one?
Yeah.
Is that the one where they were 1v1 and then he had the chain?
Yep. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That fight scene was one of the greatest fight scenes I have ever saw from the Ninja Turtle history. That was hard. That was hard. All right, brother. So we got to the end. Is there any final conclusion statements you want to make before I close this out?
Eat all vegetables.
Y'all heard him loud and clear. Eat y'all vegetables. So once again, y'all, we thank y'all for tuning in, man. This is Boxing Bear Comics. We got Killer Man on the way for y'all. You know, of course. Do not forget to number one, go follow Brandon on all social media platforms. Go tune in with Webtoons. Y'all see how I did that? Go tune in with Webtoons and make
Support a struggling artist. Support a struggling artist, y'all.
so you have to support the under ones because once they get big, then y'all could claim that y'all was the first supporters. And don't that sound like amazing? Like, come on.